What is good, my Rags and Fitness people, my Rags folks, my Rags and Fitness fam? It is your man Rags back off up in this thing. And when I tell you I'm up in it, I'm talking about I'm knee deep all the way off up in it. Guys, do yourself a favor, do everybody a favor, do the world a favor, and keep God first. I mean, from day to night, man. Every day, every year, every month, every second, every minute. Make sure you keep God first. And to shake all of the haters off. And for all of my Crimson Tide football fans, can I please get a roll? Tide roll, baby! Yes. It's not good, man. It don't feel good. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to make this video, right? But if I could dish it out, I got to be able to accept it, right? And my beloved Alabama Crimson Tide football team lost to the historically bad Vanderbilt football team, Vanderbilt Commodores, right? And notice that I said historically bad football team. Now, Vanderbilt, every now and then they may have an okay football team, an average football team, but they're known to be at the bottom of the SEC year in and year out. But I say that to say this. Maybe this year it's going to be a little bit different for Vanderbilt. Hey, man, who knows? Maybe Vanderbilt is going to be one of those teams in the SEC. It's just going to be pretty hard to beat. Now, let's go into it saying this right now. If you look at the SEC standings right now, we're just basically talking about just the SEC standings. Vanderbilt is on top of us right now. We both are 1-1 in the conference, but they own the tiebreaker. So they're ahead of us right now. And I'm looking on ESPN. And Texas A&M is on top of everybody right now, followed by Texas, followed by LSU, Georgia, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, then us, then Oklahoma, Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Auburn being at the bottom with the 0-3 SEC schedule, right? So that's what I'm looking at right now. And man, I just tell you this, man. We was beat, man. I don't know what happened with this Vanderbilt Commodore team. I think I know what it is, right? And I'm not gonna hold back. It was just a layover to Georgia. That's something, and I hate to bring up the past, but I have to do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's something that Nick Saban just wouldn't allow, right? For us to harp that long on that Georgia game, right? Even as fans, even the guys, the interviewers, the coming in and asking during the press conferences different questions. Hey, man, we're moving on from that, right? And in some instances, I don't think we moved on from that, man. We were just still living on the high. Why? I don't know. Because that we should be used to beating Georgia by now. We got a young team. No excuses, man. Vanderbilt beat us, man. And I will say this. I will be rooting for Vanderbilt to win most of their games, man. I want to see Vanderbilt win their games. We're going to break it down a little bit, though. We're going to talk about the passing yards yesterday and the rushing yards and the receiving yards from both teams, right? Mr. Jalen Milroe was 18 of 24, 310 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's not a horrible game. It was just that interception was bad, right? You got Pavia. He went 16 from 20, 252 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did exactly what he needed to do yesterday. Protect the ball, get the ball to the people that needed to have it. He ran when he needed to run. He did everything right? Rushing yards, Jamarian Miller, 5 carries for 42 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their guy, Alexander, 21 carries, 64 yards, 2 touchdowns. So that guy carried the ball a lot. Not a whole lot of yardage there. Not a whole lot of average yardage there, but he still got 2 touchdowns. He scored when it counted. He did what he needed to do for his team when it counted. Receiving yards, Mr. Ryan Williams, 3 receptions, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. Stores was their guy, 6 receptions, 113 yards, right? Yeah. This is what beat us, guys. This is what beat us right here. Time of possession. These guys had to listen to this now. These guys had the ball for 42 minutes and 8 seconds of the game. We had it for 17 minutes and 52 seconds. Guys, you can't win games like the defense have to get those guys off of the field. Listen at this. Total yards for us, 394 yards. Total yards for them, for Vanderbilt, 418 yards. Turnovers for Alabama, we committed 2 turnovers. They had none. That's another indicator of a team that's going to win the football game. And here's another one. We had 17 first downs. They had 26. So they beat us in the first down yards, right? So it just wasn't good, man. It wasn't good at all. Defense-wise, man, I made a comment last week that I was somewhat satisfied with Kane Woman, but we got to put our foot on their neck, right? Anytime we score 35 points, we should win a football game, right? They scored 40 and they beat us. Man, they're 3-2 right now. And hey, I mean, I don't know what's going on with our defense. Our defense should have been able to stop these guys because let's talk about it. Let's go to Vanderbilt's schedule. Vanderbilt, they beat Virginia Tech, they beat Alcorn State, but they played Georgia State, and Georgia State beat them 36-32. So that means Georgia State was able to stop their, well, they weren't able to really just stop them, but they was able to stop them enough for Georgia State to put up enough points to beat them. We couldn't do it. Georgia State only let them score 32 points. We let them score 40. Here comes Missouri. Missouri let them score 27 points, and Missouri scored 30. I think that game might have went into overtime. I can't remember. But here's the thing. Missouri beat them, and they ended up scoring 40 on us and beating us. So I'm saying this, if Georgia State and Missouri was able to do it, why couldn't our defense do it? All the talent that we have? All right, something else going on. There's going to have to be some adjustments. There's going to have to be something going on. For Vanderbilt to be beating us going into the half and we couldn't come back out the next half and adjust and to stop these guys. I mean, it was getting first down after first down after first down. Something's wrong there. And it's that swarm defense we're going to have to tighten up some kind of way. We have the athletes to do it. I'm not going to panic yet. But I'll say this. We got to tighten up on that defense, ladies and gentlemen. We got to tighten up on that defense. Because let me tell you something. Let me go here. The reason why we must tighten up on that defense, because we got South Carolina coming into town. Next week, the 12th, we're going to be playing at noon. And South Carolina's going to look at everything that Vanderbilt did, and they're going to try their best. Now, I know they run 2 different offenses, but I think South Carolina has a quarterback that may be able to run the ball a little bit on us. So we got to be careful when it comes to that. We can most definitely not afford to lose 2 back-to-back. Now, we are playing at a time to where 1 loss won't hurt us. I know. It's to Vanderbilt, the Vanderbilt Commodores. They haven't beat us at home, I think they said, since the 70s. I mean, that's ridiculous. That was back in the 1900s, right? 1970-something. That's been almost, 50-something years ago? Like, that's been a long time ago, guys. And I don't know when the last time Vanderbilt beat us. But they beat us this go-round, right? And even a blind squirrel can find a nut every now and then. A dead clock is right every now and then. But, guys, we can't continue to let this happen now. We're going to let this go. It's in the past now. Let's prepare for South Carolina. Now, there's 2 ways we can take this. We can let Vanderbilt take us all the way down through there. We can harp on that loss, or we could just continue to lose. Or we could take this loss from Vanderbilt. I'm talking about getting mad, get angry, and go out there and take it out on South Carolina. There was a lot of upsets yesterday, but I don't care about another team's upset right now. I must focus on my team's upset. Now, if my team would have won, you best believe I'd have been all over those other teams, right? But I've been seeing so many fan bases come out there so excited. And I'm going to bring it up. Even the Auburn fans, they lost yesterday, right? They are at the bottom of the SEC at 0-3. But they don't care about that. They just care that Vanderbilt beat us yesterday, and that made their day. So that lets you know what they're about. They can lose, and as long as we lose with them, then it's okay. You know what they call that? Misery loves company. So recruits, all of the recruits out there, if you want to go and play for a miserable program, you go down there to Auburn, Alabama, man, and you commit to that program and just, hey, be alongside the misery, because that's what they are. They're miserable, right? And they love company. So as long as they lose and Alabama lose, hey, man, they're satisfied. So if that's what you want to play for, guys, if you want to play for Hugh Freeze and be miserable and be at the bottom of the SEC right now with a 0-3 record, go ahead. I've also been seeing a few LSU fans that's been taking that's been poking fun a little bit. But LSU fans, not so fast, my friend. You'll get yours in due time. You don't have a strong team at all. So I say this. It's a lot of people that's going to have to pay up for what Vanderbilt has done. I'm just saying, it's a lot of people that's going to have to pay up for what Vanderbilt has done. So Vanderbilt, congratulations on your win. But you have done something, I believe. Hopefully you have done something. You woken up that defense. You woke up something, a giant in us that maybe we can come out on. But that's not acceptable. The football that we played yesterday on defense, I don't care what offense they run and how different it is. Hey, man, Georgia State was able to stop it, but we wasn't able to stop it. So I don't know what's going on there, right? So, like I said, maybe this is just going to be one of those years that Vanderbilt's going to have a great team. I mean, they do have the quarterback that beat Auburn last year, right? I mean, that has nothing to do with Alabama, but Auburn, hey, I mean, you know how that feels getting beat by that quarterback, don't you? So we have a few more games that's left on this schedule, man, that I mean, we can really bounce back and we can do some things, but it's kind of scary looking at the defense that we're running right now. And I do like the way that they roam Q Robinson and Quay Russo. I do like the way that they're kind of like standing up and blitzing when they need to, or going back in coverage when they need to. I kind of like that. I like them pursuing the quarterback, but it's something we're going to have to do. That 3-man front, and we're going to have to do something. It's okay to run the swarm defense every now and then as a, maybe a base defense, whatever you want to run it as. But we're going to have to create some more styles of defense inside of there that's going to go along with that we're going to have to stop teams like Vanderbilt. Because if teams see that that's going to beat us, I know even teams that don't run that type of style of offense, they're going to do something similar to try to knock us off balance, man. And we have pretty good athletes on our defense. Like I said, when I just named two of them, Q Robinson and Quay Rutal, man, they're usually all over the place, shoestring tackling, all over your quarterback. But this guy, he gave us a fit yesterday, man. So, I mean, that's what we're looking at right now. I mean, I know there's going to be the talk of ESPN, SEC Network. It's going to be the talk of a lot of content creators. It give you guys something to talk about, right? And give us something as an Alabama nation to talk about, right? All of us content creators that create content for Alabama and especially the guys that's been. I have a real love for the guys that's been doing this for a long time, for the guys that grew up Alabama fans, not the people that's just latching onto the bandwagon just because it's a popular thing to do. I'm talking about people that grew up in this, man. I have a real good thing for people like that. People that's from the state of Alabama, people that's, just grew up into this whole thing, man. You could talk about the Gene Stallings, the Bear Bryants. We could talk about all of those different type of players. I could talk about the Trodrick Malones, one of my favorite players you guys probably don't even know about, that played back in the 90s. That's the type of guys that I like to talk to about this kind of stuff, and not the bandwagon guys that's going to probably leave the bandwagon because of a Vanderbilt loss, or they don't really, they're not really into this, man. But I'm telling you, I bleed it, man. This is one of my pastimes. I love sitting here watching Alabama football. Did it hurt me? Of course it did, man. It's not the typical, it's not the Alabama way. But this is what I will say to the Alabama nation. Guys, the last few months, it hasn't been the Alabama way. We're going through a different process, right? We know Kalen DeBoer is a winner, right? We know that he's stepping into a whole different scene, a whole different realm, right? He's going to have to know how to talk to these guys. He's going to have to know how to coach. I know he want to be a player's coach, but he's going to have to know how to be stern. He's going to have to know how to tell these players to tone it down, and let's get to practice and let's focus, right? I think that's the key word is focused. How focused were we on Vanderbilt, right? Were we really that focused? Now, I can say no all day, but the players have to answer that, right? The coaches have to be able to answer that. And I'm not in their heads, I'm not in their skin. I'm just a typical guy that comes on here and talk about Alabama football. Was born and raised in Alabama, and I have been an Alabama fan since I was yay high, right? I've never been a fan of anybody else but Crimson Tide as far as college football goes. But like I said, guys, we got a lot of soul searching, right? You got to search your soul. I've seen a lot of the former players, they're mad, right? And as long as everything is going good, everything is good, right? We're scoring 41 points a game. Was shutting teams out earlier. But when it started to go bad, man, who's going to stick around? Who's going to stick with the team, right? I know I've been called optimistic rags in the past, but who's going to stick around for the team, right? Are you going to badmouth them? Are you going to just complain about it? Are you going to stick around and let's see what we're going to do to South Carolina next week? I know a lot of guys they're not even going to watch the game because they're so upset that we was beat by Vanderbilt because it's embarrassing. That's the one word you could use for this loss. It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. But that's how it all depends on your perspective of it, right? And I know some people going to say, Rags, no matter how you look at it, it's embarrassing. It's Vanderbilt. But hey, like I said, Vanderbilt, they went into the transfer portal. They did some things, man. And who's to say that they don't have that team that's going to be making some noise in the SEC? I don't know. Well, Rags, they got beat by Georgia State. They got beat by Missouri already. And you see what happened is Missouri against Texas A&M. It's all about the styles makes the fight, right? Style makes the fight. So it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to go out like that. We don't want to lose consecutive games, right? We know that it's 12-team playoff, and we still are in the running for the playoffs. We might not get a week off if we keep playing the way that we're playing, right? But that's what you're gunning for, to win the SEC so you can get that week off. But guys, when I tell you that football is not over yet, there's a long season left, right? And a bunch of teams on our schedule that's going to make us look good if we beat them. And it's going to only make us look good if Vanderbilt look good, right? So, guys, I would encourage you to, hey, man, give Vanderbilt a go. Hey, man, root for them, cheer for them, man. Hey, Vanderbilt, win all the rest of your games. We want you to win. We want you to have a good schedule. We didn't want you to lose to Georgia State, man. But you did it. So Vanderbilt, if you play every game the way that you played us Saturday, you might be in the running for some real good stuff. Now, I don't know about the playoffs and none of that stuff, but I will tell you this, maybe a good bowl game or something like that. We don't know, man. Maybe the playoffs. Who knows, man? Who knows? I know I've rented and I rambled on a whole lot, guys. But hey, man, Rags gonna go ahead and get on out of here, man. Because I can keep going. I can go forever, forever, forever. And guys, if you want to discuss this further, just get in the comments and say, hey, Rags, go live. Let's go live so we can talk to each other like spot on, right? Some instant messaging, right? So, guys, if you want Rags to go live, maybe I can go live later on tonight and we can talk this over, man. We can see what's going on. Let's if some of the other guys are not, doing that thing or whatever. But we can go live, man. We can talk about it. So, guys, with all that being said, man, get in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this loss. Guys, we're not going to disappear. We're not going to do that. Like I say, when we beat Georgia last week, I saw Georgia disappear. I hadn't heard a go dog or none of that. They're still upset, really, right? You still don't hear that many go dogs. But I'm going to say roll tide, roll tide, roll tide until the day that I die. It's roll tide, roll, baby. You feel me? So with all that being said, old Red's got to get out of here, man. I know you love looking down into the depths of my eyes. But I got people to see. I got places to go, man. Already. Yeah.